吸い込んだまた吸い込んだ吸い込んだらカービィ強くなるそれパラ
When it rains, it pours. And after it pours, the sun shines on it, leaving a rainbow. Greetings everyone, it is me Gigalem, and welcome to the finale of Extra Mode for Kirby's Adventure. And let's just say we continue to stumble through this kind of game and such, and let's start off with what's very different in this version of the game. Look how dark this room is! Like, I'm not kidding. This is what light ability should have been for, but no, it's not. This is a very dark room. But yeah, this is another great demonstration of the laser ability. But yeah, as you can tell, we are in the end game for Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, or Kirby's Adventure in this case, and well, I should probably bring up some more topics as we go into more about Kirby's Adventure. And, like, I can't remember how long ago this particular thing was unearthed, but there is a VHS tape, like, there are, okay, so, you guys are familiar with store VHS tapes demonstrating the latest in products and video games and such, right? For a while, there would be these VHS tapes that would contain promos for a single game or promos for multiple games. Like as an example, Target had these get into the game kind of things, where they were showing off new games for upcoming consoles, and one of those said consoles was the PlayStation, and it was showing all of its footage in 60 FPS, including Crash Team Racing. Either it was due to the interpolation of the VHS, or Crash Team Racing probably was 60 FPS at one point, but I'm not entirely sure. It's probably frame interpolation, but Japan and other territories would have this kind of stuff too, and Japan had these demonstration VHS tapes for Kirby Yumi no Izumi no Monogatari, which I believe translates to Story of the Dream Fountain, or Story of the Fountain of Dreams. What the remake is titled Yumi no Izumi Deluxe, which probably means Fountain of Dreams Deluxe, and I would probably understand why, because imagine having to have the original title, all like imagine having to sprite the original, all of the original title on the GBA and such, for the logo and such. I mean, goodness. Like, you probably would have had, you probably wouldn't have enough space for it back then, so they probably shortened it to Yumi no Izumi Deluxe as a means to make things a little bit easier on their lives. So, yeah. These particular VHS tapes are made on a very easy budget to basically show off footage of the game. This game really doesn't want me to get the ability I want. To get, well, footage of the game in question, as well as demonstrate the features and selling points about it and such. Usually when it's gone past its run, well, and the tape are, I believe the tapes are returned to their companies for them to get destroyed. And usually that's the case, but collectors are smarter than that. It's the reason why Pokemon distribution ROMs still exist nowadays. And there are a lot of VHS demonstration tape finds as we go on, because I know like a while ago there was one for Poppin' Music 7. But this featured a fully voice-acted Kirby, voiced by a female. This was at a time where it was where it was for marketing purposes. Kirby was able to speak, able to talk full sentences and such. And Kirby's early days can be a bit weird because the only time Kirby has talked full sentences in English would be Kirby's Avalanche, aka Kirby, well, I would call it Kirby Puyo Puyo with a Kirby skin. Think of it as Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine for Super Nintendo owners. This is at a time where Puyo Puyo wasn't exactly a household name and didn't exactly see enough reason to bring it in the US, so they put another IP on it for additional sales. This freaking... Seriously, can someone tell me why... I'm just gonna say this right now. Fan, or in this case, Rolling Snail, is the hardest boss in the entire game on this area. Because they move quick. They act aggressively, and trying to run away from them, well, it results in that. Stop moving! I really should have made a restore point. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do for this. Because, I apologize for getting so aggressive so quickly. I'm gonna make a restore point and such. Ugh. Sorry to play like this, but quite literally, with how low my HP is and how aggressive these bosses can tend to get. Come on, do something. Now in the remake, the King Deity's theme would play. Ugh. You have to wait for this boss to strike before throwing any sort of abilities right at it. And for your efforts, 5 1-ups. Refill those lives you just lost, because, boy, you're going to need them. But yeah, that's about it for the boss rush and such. Already 8 minutes in, I'm still struggling with a level like this. Ugh. Yeah! That's for all the trouble that you gave me. Ugh. But, they had a fully voice-acted Kirby. Kirby, understandably, due to his cute appearances, was voiced by a girl. And, they had these set animations where, you're going to definitely tell the reused animation and such to basically transition to other things and such. That VHS tape has possibly the cleanest ripped version of the Japanese Kirby's Adventure commercial out there. For the longest time, the only version of that commercial we had was still a bit fuzzy in some ways, but the commercial, that version of the commercial is now a lot cleaner to look at. Ugh, good thing we had the ability star. Though, I wouldn't... Okay, so the throw hitbox thing works when it's in front. This area is really cramped. There are also box issues with this area too. Like if you get caught in those walls you see over there, it's a soft lock. So you gotta be careful. I want to know if, like, I hear that Final Fantasy Selection of Titles was on the Wii U's eShop at one point. Because I could have sworn it was, but the moment I tried to find them, they were gone. Also, I need this because, holy moly, can this game get mean. Yeah! You can already tell that sometimes I tend to act a little bit ahead of principle because I really am paranoid about trying not to lose my ability. And sometimes I get better with age. But in other cases, it's just me being like, please, I don't want to lose my ability. This area is trippy. Like, holy moly is it washed out. People have said that this, like, Wii U games tend to look a bit dark and such, and, while I have not played the original to check, personally, sometimes I think that may be for the better, because there will be a case of that I'll show off in a future Kirby Let's Play. But it's just like, I think these games are fine enough. It's just, the darkness, like, I think the darkness filter was a safety precaution as to avoid flashing lights issues. So, I think it was for the better in some cases, because some things can look absolutely bright and garish. And sometimes I can just end up, dying. That too. The things you think of, after the fact. As you can tell, this world takes a much more surrealist, approach, because a lot of things are abstract. And that's kind of what the Rainbow Resort is. It's meant to be a dream resort. There's going to be a lot more abstract stuff. Of course the game would do that to me. The game is slowing down, and okay, I think it's a good thing they changed how this area looked in the remake, because it's just like, for the most part, I thought I was looking at a Namco test screen. And there we go, another one up, one back. I apologize for all the cracking and such, but yeah. Oh, this level. Be absolutely careful here. Keep your distance from any bombs, I believe. Or I think they're actually called bombers. And I'm pretty sure those who have played Super Smash Bros. Ultimate may remember this particular enemy all too well. You hold it up in the air, kaboosh. Anyways, sorry Grand Willie, I'm gonna go all across the screen. And that insta-kills Grand Willie. Like in the remake, it doesn't. Why give us wheel in this area? Hey. Bah! All my weird noises. Okay, now I just didn't hold up enough. I really... the game's lag did not help me there. There we go, that's what I wanted. I always tend to lose my lives here, like... I'm not sure if I'm ever going to have a deathless run in a Kirby game. Like, it's not really going to happen to me no matter how good I get. Like, I think it's on the same level of me never going to have a deathless run in Crash Bandicoot, because there will be stages that will indeed kill you. Also, because the game's jank, I'm going to make a restore point for this area. Don't expect me to get this switch because of how the game is handled. Yes! Yes! That is way too tight! Way too tight for 5 1-ups. Well, at least you guys get to see what this looks like. Angry dog noises warning. But finally I can move along. I was on this level alone. And now we're on level 6. And it's nostalgia time. And now in the remake, this actually plays green greens with the correct pitch. So hearing this, it sounds fine, if a bit on the oh goodness my software is dying side. Another neat touch is that even the HUD is grayed out, which sadly was not kept for the remake. Like, this sounds like stuff you hear from an ice cream truck. Goodness, just imagine you're just hanging out in the summer, and then just the ice cream truck stops by and you're just hearing green greens instead of what's normally playing. I didn't know it cuts off the one-up jingle whenever you inhale it. But might as well play it old school, for the most part. But yeah, we are back in Dreamland 1 for the 3rd time. And, not much has changed here. Like, no joke. Not much has changed between this and the remake. It's just, I think the remake has a bit more color put into it. Or at the very least, a much more, like, certain things are much, way more, like, way less, gray, or way less bright. But who knows, this may be, like, in some cases, the dimming may be a little bit easier on your eyes. So yeah, this is the one area with the with the Scarfies that are going to get in your way, and we're already at the end of the stage because I played this game like I don't know how many times in a row, like not only to practice but also to record. I played this game so much that as soon as I'm finished editing and such, like, the last thing I want to do with this game for a long time is just record the bonus episode, and I don't think I'm going to record the bonus episode for a good while. Also, I was clearly underneath that moon. But yeah, that is the last switch. That should be 100% on the original. Here's the 1-up. And let's actually get one of these. Okay, that was a bad idea. I cannot get the last stage to have a 1-up. But let's go finally face King Devi. So, just as a safety precaution, I know we have 13 lives, but I want to be safe. Now let me try explaining this. This is King Devi. Usually he's going to start with a tackle, but sometimes when he chases you, if it's not the hammer, well, you better stand your ground, because most of the time he's going to tackle, but with my luck, he's always going to inhale, and once he grabs you, well, that's just, that's fate. Hammer. Okay, now he's gonna puff up to try to tackle us. He will chase you in midair, so don't think about cheesing him that way. Okay, the jump. His recovery from Super Smash Brothers. Just make sure you keep your distance. Unless he hammers, just stay right in front of him. But if you want to chase you, start running. Good, he's doing the jump. Now he's doing the puff up. Just dash underneath him. Okay. Just like puff up and get over him if he's going to start chasing you without the hammer. You can easily tell what attack he's gonna do. Like, look at that! I was that close. Okay, good. Okay, he's gonna puff up and try to tackle. Okay, good. Ugh, that was close. Good, good, good. Good. Okay, good. Puffing up. I did that without taking a single hit! Nice! It's actually a pretty fun fight if you know how to fight him. I'll just say, don't use the parasol on him. Look at that expression. Like, it's a lot better on the GBA for aesthetic standards, but this, the way he looks in the NES, it's kind of hokey. Just look at those expressions. Oh my gosh. Kirby's eyes are bugging out. And away we go. And so we begin the final boss on extra mode. This is how it looks in the original. And I'd say it looks practically identical here, only just less detailing because NES. Shmup bosses, like this is your typical shmup boss, and as with file size limitations, well, don't expect much here. Sometimes these will cross, like these will do a cross formation and such. Oi. Just be sure to just make sure you start moving whenever possible, because as shmup bosses work, well, it's all about just making sure you know when to move and such, and self-preservation. Because it can be very easy to be reckless in shmups like that. And you do not get a free heal between bosses. Like, I don't think I've ever done a boss like this without taking a single hit. Is this supposed to happen if I'm too late? Apparently, today I learned. Wow. I didn't know that could happen. Like, I'm usually done with the boss by that point, but the boss just ran as he had one hit left. But for the first time he brings out the four stars and such, well, it's expected that it's going to go straight ahead, but sometimes it will go come on. I was running out of time anyway, so today I learned that this boss actually has a time limit, because if you're too slow, well, yeah. Also, I just noticed parallax scrolling in an NES game. So yeah, so apparently not only do you have to defeat this boss fast, but you also defeat this boss with only Star Rod. Well, you have to do it in in a short little time limit. Oh, nope. Okay, I'm gonna create a restore point right here. So, I'll see you when I get to phase 2.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting, and they had to hire a new one.
Okay. You need to act fast because you're on a time limit. I don't remember there being a time limit. I don't remember having a hard time where the recording course decided to say, hey, no. So, fire spread 3. Things gonna fire these things. Excuse me, I dodged that. Finally! Now we can get to the last part. So, make the final effort. Shoot the star to defeat the final enemy. It's time for Nightmare. And I think he's... just as easy... yeah, I'm literally feeling my inputs drop. I think he's just as easy as he is on the NES. No, on the NES as he is on the Game Boy. Also, I've never seen him pull out a star like that. Also, I think it's amazing how they made a sprite like this. Kirby jumps a lot higher here. I think firing the stars does more damage, but it's incredibly possible to do this without taking a single hit. Like, very easy. Unless you're me. And in the recording course, it's like, no, 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 you will not do this, you will not do this, you will miss another day. Ugh. See, that lag literally dropped an input. Oi. Whenever he exposes himself, oh god, you basically want to take that moment to actually attack. And I think the quicker way is to basically wait for a good moment to strike. Oh. Because I can do the slow way, which is basically just making sure that I jump into him. But the easier way, like that's the easier way. It takes a lot longer, but it works. Those stars cost so much, just slow down. Goodness. It actually makes this boss a tad harder. There we go. So I'm trying to hit him with the Star Rod rather than jump into him because that does more damage. Because I could be here for days trying to hit him with just the Star Rod, but that is going to take a lot longer. And seriously, his star's literally getting in the way. Yeah, he is harder on the NES. Like, he is, like, talk about downgrade. Also, Kirby has a witch head in the Star Rod icon. Okay, wait. There we go. How did I take a hit from that? I pressed B. I got hit by the star even though the Star Rod was in that area. That part, okay, that attack is much harder to hit him with in the GBA version. And there we go. That's it for Extra Mode. Finally! Finally got this done. That's actually pretty terrifying for NES standards. I mean, it's not Sweet Home, but... Kirby, we just fixed that moon. Now the Sonic fans are going to start complaining. Kirby fought to find the Star Rod. But King Devi did not mean any harm here. Bad dreams had invaded Dreamland. A nightmare came to the Dream Spring and tried to cause pain to the people. Look at him go. Devi foiled the nightmare by hiding the Star Rod from him. Devi helped Kirby beat the nightmare. Now everyone's dreams will return. This is probably the easiest game on the NES. Tonight, Dreamland will sleep well. Well, one of the easier games. I mean, there are some easy games on the NES that I am aware of. Most NES games are pretty hard, so you wouldn't be able to return it in a weekend. So throw that Star Rod back onto the pedestal. And that's about it for Kirby's Adventure. So now, once we return, we can finally go back to Nightmare in Dreamland and complete the project. I'm probably going to go over my full thoughts about the project as a whole, but if you want my full thoughts about the NES version of the game, it served its purpose, but it has not aged as well as it could be. It is a fault of NES hardware. This was pushing the NES at its limits at the time, and the NES... Well, a lot of its games tend to not age very well. Like, a lot of them are very archaic in design and such. We were still going through growing pains at this point. But there are some games that would later become big franchises that started on this system. Kirby, for his first outing with copy abilities, I'd say I don't think the Kirby series would have been the same without this. And I think it was a good thing that this game introduced the copy abilities, because the copy abilities would get better as the franchise would go on. Soon copy abilities would become more in-depth, becoming more potent than ever and more fun to use. And as a result of that, well, it's led to Kirby getting his biggest main appeal for the entire series in general. His ability to copy any foe he swallows. And as a result of that, well, you have a series that would go on for years, and as a series that I would like to cover over time. But yeah, that is it. That is it for Kirby, Kirby's Adventure. if you want to donate, there are a couple links in the description below. If you want to follow the series, just hit the subscribe button and the bell, and you'll be on your way, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I hope you're taking care of yourself, and, well, I shall bid you adieu.